What is up, Nitwits? It's Game Over Joey.
And Damo99. Hey, Nitwits, as always, please like, subscribe, leave your comments down below. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We're just looking to grow this community with you and evolve this channel into more game content just for our Nitwits out there.
Hey, and thank you for joining in to podcast number 3. We got a good one for you. I think, Dom, you can agree. It is that time of year, the Game Awards.
Woo-woo.
We're both real giddy about this. It's an exciting time. And Dom, just let me know your thoughts on it. How excited are you? And, how are you feeling?
I'm juiced for it. It's always for me, the NFL Draft, and then the Video Game Awards. And the reason is we're going to learn what the community thinks, what the media mainly thinks, but more importantly, we get to see what's coming in the future. We get to see the games that we've been loving and playing all year round finally get rewarded or get screwed over. It goes either way sometimes. But the more important thing here is we're finally at the time where we get to see more for next year. That's the key in my mind.
And I agree 110%, man. I am super excited to see who wins each category, even though we think we have a good idea who's going to win. Animal Crossing, Last of Us. We're not. We'll get into that shortly.
Easy spoiler.
But yeah, I agree with you. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Xbox and PlayStation's the exclusive trailers. I'm super giddy about it. We're going to go ahead and just get right into how they go about selecting the nominees for each category. So the way they go about doing that is there's a jury of roughly 95 global media and influencers who are selected by Jeff Keighley and his group. And they select these individuals to vote on what games they feel should be in each category. There are so many games that come out each year that are indie games, AAA games, and they are the ones who just select what games are going to be the Game of the Year category, best action, best shooter, etc. So we're going to go into on how do they choose a winner. So winner is chose off of the voting jury. So that same jury we're talking about, they hold 90% of the votes. And then the other 10% come from the public. So people like us. So after our votes are broadcasted and then the panels vote, that is who wins that specific category. So if you're asking yourself, why do they do it this way? The reason why they do it this way is because if they were to do it based off of sole public, our opinions, other games would always win every single year, meaning exclusive games. So, for example, currently PlayStation holds the most player count. So, it's most likely a PlayStation exclusive game would win the Game of the Year award every single year just due to exclusivity in the total player count. So, it makes sense. Is it a perfect process? By all means, no. But it's there for a reason, right?
Yep.
How do you feel about the process, Dom?
Until you broke my heart and told me that, I always thought people vote really it was a big subject. But I get it. It's smart. It makes sense. I mean, if not, you would have one exclusive winning almost every year. Unless there's 2 great ones from the same console, anything like that. That could make a difference, but I see what they're doing. I get it. Doesn't mean in my mind it's the best, but hey, at least it's games. At least it's getting names out there. At least it's fun for everyone to participate still in something that we all love.
And I agree 100% with you. Like I said, not perfect, but I understand it. Kind of like the U.S. justice system. So, but at the end of the day, it's not perfect, but it's there for a good reason. And hey, it's one that works for the most part. Because we know that it's not perfect. So let's just go ahead and start with Game of the Year. So this category has some phenomenal titles in it. Some titles that should just be thrown away. Pissed on, burnt. Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated with this category. But So, obviously I don't sound too happy. But now we got Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Last of Us Part 2. So, first, what are your first impressions? What do you think about that? When I named those 6 games, does anything jump out at you and you're like, what's your choice? Why is it your choice? And what game deserves to be burnt, thrown away, and pissed on?
Well, let's just be very honest. I really think Last of Us Part 2 is just going to run most of these categories. Not for the right reasons, but I don't think the game was as great as what they say, but hey. So I guess that would be my game that throw it away, piss on it. But Final Fantasy VII, the remake, or Ghost of Tsushima, I would be perfectly fine with either one of those guys winning. I think if the world loves us, we would have one of those two. But I have a feeling we're either going to get The Last of Us Part 2 or Animal Crossing. Which is nothing wrong with Animal Crossing. It's just, it shouldn't be in this category. It shouldn't. I don't know if it was just a bad year. Maybe I missed some hits that didn't come out. Last year we had 4 games that could have won. And this year we get Animal Crossing on the list.
I agree. I can't even say that. I agree 110%, man. We're looking at The Last of Us 2. It needs pissed on, burnt. I'm sorry, and I know we may not get the most. We're going to get some hater comments or hater feedback, but at the end of the day, the game was trash. Last of Us, the first game was amazing. Hands down to Naughty Dog. Phenomenal game. Loved it.
You just didn't get the same feel. Or maybe it was just me. Either way. But it didn't feel like the same game.
I agree. I do not think it was the same game. I'm shocked that Naughty Dog developed it. Immediately when I played it, I thought it was fucking... Oh, excuse the language. But I really thought it was... you know how when Mass Effect was created by the original developers, the first game 1, 2, and 3, but then Andromeda came out, Hey, that's exactly what happened here. They must have used a third-party studio that wasn't Naughty Dog. They just don't want to tell the public because they wanted to get the sales. That's what happened.
Mass Effect only had 2 games.
Yeah, you're correct.
Mass Effect only had 2 games. That's all I know.
Yeah, exactly. 2 games. 2 games. So, and I agree. Final Fantasy VII Remake, in my opinion, should definitely take this category. Followed by Ghost of Tsushima. Doom Eternal was a fantastic game. I really loved Doom Eternal. It is a good game just to, start up, play, run through. I think they're amazing games. But is it game of the year? No. Is it a fun game overall? Absolutely. I recommend it, but it's definitely not game of the year. Another thing, Animal Crossing New Horizons doesn't deserve to be up there. I agree with you there too. It should be.
It doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's just not a game for game of the year.
Absolutely, it is not game of the year whatsoever. It shouldn't be there, but it is. Just go ahead and throw it out there. But I got a good feeling too. Last of Us Part 2 is gonna win it, or Animal Crossing. I'm leaning more towards Last of Us, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be one of those two.
Hey, it's 2020. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, you're right. I had another comment I wanted to say, but it's too inappropriate. So let's go ahead and go to our next category. So, the best game direction. So, this category is awesome because again, it's about the creative vision and innovation of the game direction, right? So, with this specific category, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, The Last of Us Part 2. I'll go ahead and start this one. I truly think, again, it's going to fall between... it's probably going to be Last of Us Part 2 that win this. Let's be honest. They're going to win every category. But I thought about this, because originally I was leaning towards more Final Fantasy VII Remake or Ghost of Tsushima. But when we think about innovation, we think about, at least I think about, something that's game-changing, never been done before. Half-Life Alyx comes to mind. And I know it's a VR game, but it was a VR game that was literally, in my book, a 10 out of 10. Phenomenal story, great gameplay mechanics, great design. They definitely went out of their way with this game. Plus, I'm a huge Half-Life fan in general, so I may be a little biased. Would I mind if Final Fantasy VII Remake wins? Absolutely not. I love that game. Amazing game. It deserves Game of the Year. Ghost of Tsushima is up there. But when I think about this category, I think Half-Life Alyx should be the winner. Last of Us Part 2 shouldn't be here. They should be pissed, burnt. I pissed on, burnt. I just shouldn't be here. So what are your thoughts, Dom? Who do you think should take this category?
And Ghost of Tsushima. I'm actually going to be blatant. I refuse to vote for anything for Valve until they bring out another Left 4 Dead. Just my opinion. But hey, I'm going Ghost of Tsushima here. I love Ghost of Tsushima. I know that you're saying it's nothing different than what we played before, but it's just a great game. It really is.
Oh, I agree 110%. I beat the game. I love the game. The art direction. It's probably one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. And playing that game, I was in the photo mode more than I actually played the game. I was taking photos of the trees, of the ocean, of the wildlife. But I do think that other game, it really is like every other game. There was no unique factor about it, in my opinion. The fighting was fighting you've seen before. Story was a story you've heard before. So in that regards, it great game. But if we're talking about unique innovation and change, I think Half-Life Alyx takes it. But I will say this. Valve, I'm very upset with 2. I need a Left 4 Dead 3. I'm a huge Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 fan. I still play Left 4 Dead 2 today. Now, I do use mods when I play the game, so obviously it spices it up. But hands down, they need to make a Left 4 Dead 3. I know they're stating that it's nowhere in the near future, but that just makes me hate Gabe Newell even more. So our next category is best narrative. And I think that's just pretty explanatory, right? So we got, Dom, you just want to go ahead and take this category overall?
13 Sentinels, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and Last of Us Part 2. I mean, let's just say, I'm not going to, Last of Us Part 2 is probably going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this whole video is just going to be us going, Last of Us 2 is probably going to win. There are a couple categories where I feel they won't, but hey, it's probably going to win this category, let's just be honest. And I don't know if you agree. If you want to go something different, awesome. If not, let's move right along.
Yeah, let's move right along. They got best narrative.
Yeah, I think it is just going to win. It doesn't mean it's not a beautiful game. It doesn't mean it's not a good game. It wasn't The Last of Us in my opinion. It didn't have the same feel, so I feel I have a lot of resentment towards it for that reason. I'm sorry, Last of Us 2 fans. I'm sorry.
The game's garbage. Let's just be real. So, best art direction. So we got Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and Last of Us Part 2. Now, I think in this category, we can go ahead and skip Last of Us Part 2. Beautiful game, yes, that's all I'll give it. But Ori is a beautiful game. It is absolutely stunning.
I know you love Ori.
Yeah, it is stunning. Followed by Ghost of Tsushima was stunning. If we're talking about art, it's going to be one of those two, in my opinion. Final Fantasy VII Remake was a beautiful game, but it wasn't that type of art that those two games have.
Remakes have a disadvantage in that because they've already been done. They've already been around. We've already seen it once. So, is really just redoing what you did before best art direction. I feel like when your art direction, you are looking for something you've never seen before.
Right. And I agree with you there, but remake versus a remaster is different, right? A remake is a full redoing of a game, and I think that in this category, and I don't know if you disagree, but I think Ghost of Tsushima will win it, but I think runner-up should definitely be Ori.
I'm with you. Moving on.
All right, cool. It's all you. It's all you, boo boo.
Okay, best score in music: Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and Last of Us Part 2. Honestly, I'm one of those people when I play. I mean, the only time I've ever felt like, man, this song really captured me was in Red Dead Redemption when he head to Mexico and he just hears music playing slightly.
Yep.
Like, I still remember that one moment in my head from music so much, outside of, like, the protocol songs or anything like that are repeated over and over again. Mm-hmm. So to me, this category is not the best choice for me. I mean, anyone can win. I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's just go with there for me. You know?
Okay.
Let's give some love to Doom Eternal.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Doom Eternal or Final Fantasy for me. So, Final Fantasy has iconic music. Anyone that's a Final Fantasy fan, I don't think they disagree with that. So, my feeling, they're going to win, or Doom Eternal. Ori has some good music. Hades has some good music. Last of Us 2 needs to burn. So, we'll go ahead and skip the best audio design now.
All right, go ahead.
Best audio design. Doom Eternal, Half-Life, Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, and Last of Us 2. Oh my gosh. They're just in every category. That's insane.
They are, really.
So really just audio and design, right? So right off the back, for me, it's going to go to Ghost of Tsushima or Doom Eternal. Ghost of Tsushima, the accuracy and actually how the sword sit, just the world around you, I think it is absolutely phenomenal. It sounds great, looks great, and I also want to point out that I actually watched a documentary about how they got sounds to sound so accurate. They legit flew out to Japan and sat down and just listened and recorded and took swords. They did a lot. I know a lot of games do this, so I'm not saying anything new. But from what I heard, from what I playing the game, listening to all around me, just getting lost in this immersive world, I have to say it made me feel like I was literally in a 1950s, 60s, Bruce Lee movie where I was in that genre in one of those old movies, and just it felt wonderful. It was like I was watching an old samurai movie. Hands down, Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm with you. I'm perfectly fine with Ghost of Tsushima.
All right. So we're on the same page here. Best performance.
Now, this was where I won't hate on Last of Us Part 2. Ashley Johnson as Ellie. I love Ellie. She's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Great person.
I agree.
Laura Bailey as Abby. Daisuke. I can't say the name. I'm sorry. I blew it. Logan Cunningham as Hades, and Najee Jeter as Miles Morales. I'm going to go with my best performance, though, as Najee Jeter as Miles Morales. Great game. Underrated game. Probably a DLC, realistically, but still great game nonetheless.
Okay. So I agree with you. I think that Ashley Johnson is a phenomenal actor, and I think that overall best performance should go to her. Mm-hmm. And I think that even Miles Morales, I do agree that should have been an expansion pack. And hell, it's not even a full price game, so it is an expansion pack. I think he did an excellent job too. Who was it? Jeter? I think great job. Sakai, who is from Ghost of Tsushima, I think he also did. Jin Sakai is phenomenal. I think he did really well. But I definitely think Ashley Johnson's gonna take this category, followed by probably Jin Sakai or Jeter. I don't think the other two deserve any nomination here, but whatever.
It's a 3-horse race.
Absolutely. Now, games for impact. What do you think, Dom?
Honestly, above my pay grade on this one. I think we've talked about this one before. To me, none of these games have struck a chord or made me, take it to the next level. So,
okay, so fair. I can tell you, out of all of these, there's only 2 here that I could play, and I found somewhat entertaining. But the winner for me, so it would be I Found or Tell Me Why. And Tell Me Why wins it in my book. Mm-hmm. It is a game where choices do make a huge impact on the outcome of the story. And I think that overall, they did a heck of a job in making you feel like you were that individual in that game, and those choices did affect you. You became emotionally attached. So I think Tell Me Why should definitely win this category. But amazing game. Take that back. A good game, not amazing. A good game to play if you can pick it up on sale. Now, best ongoing. I'm super excited about this category. And
this is the best category, by the way.
I agree. I play all these games except No Man's Sky. That needs to be burnt, thrown away, pissed on, just trash.
Hey, No Man's Sky's improved. Don't.
It has improved, but the motherfucker robbed me, and I know I just said another. Oh dang, he robbed me. Okay, and it bothered me because I bought the collector's edition when this game was first announced, and it was complete crap, and it bothers me. But it has improved a lot. I know it's gotten a lot better, but I refuse to play it. So. In this category, it's so hard for me, just in general, because the four games, Apex, Destiny 2, Warzone, Fortnite, I play all of these currently to date. And they all have a special place in my heart. So, for me,
wallet.
Huh?
Or in your wallet.
Oh, yeah, really, yeah, definitely in my wallet. Oh, stupid fucking Fortnite. But
Another one.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, well. For me, right now, I'd say for this category, my decision is I want Destiny 2 to take it. Destiny 2, I've spent literally 1,000+ hours playing. I love Destiny 2. Call of Duty Warzone, I think, is a great contender. Apex and Fortnite are as well. But Fortnite's won before multiple times. And then I think about...
Fortnite is going to win again.
Probably. But realistically, yeah, they probably will. But for me, I really want Destiny 2 to take this. And Warzone, I wouldn't be mad about. I love Warzone. Apex Legends, out of any Battle Royale game, the three that are listed here, obviously I'm going to say I think Apex Legends gets the most, I want to say hate for the sole fact it's not played as much as it is, and it doesn't get enough credit for what it is. And
it's just different.
It's different, and I think the mechanics are amazing. It's backed by Respawn, which is an amazing developer making Titanfall 1 and 2 and Jedi The Fallen Order, which are all amazing games. But it sounds like you're in for Fortnite, and I'm in for Destiny 2.
Oh, yeah, Fortnite.
Okay.
I think Fortnite's actually made some good changes to at least keep hooking me back in.
Oh, so, absolutely. You know. I think they're all great games. All great games. Yeah. And I play Fortnite probably more than any of these currently. But that still doesn't change my mind that I think Destiny 2 overall has held that crowd. At one point, Destiny 2 fell off the map, and then they had to redeem themselves again, and they did it. They came back. I don't think Fortnite ever really had fallen off the map, Warzone, or Apex Legends. So when Destiny 2 came back and redeemed itself, it just meant more to me. So yeah. So best indie game.
This one, I'm just going to say, Fall Guys should always win every category because I've never played a more fun game in my life of like me laying back, not doing anything, and then all of a sudden it gets closer and closer and I'm sitting up in my chair. It's like, you know, speeding up the process of any Battle Royale game. The further you make it, all of a sudden you find yourself closer. Mm-hmm. Any sports game, the closer it gets to the fourth quarter, anything, like you're sitting up, you're looking. Fall Guys is like the goofiest thing until you start getting to round like 3, you're starting to sit up a little more. Round 4, you're like sitting up. Round 5, you're like standing, staring at your monitor or TV, whatever you're playing on. I love Fall Guys. It's fun. It's goofy. It's silly. I just love it. So that's my vote for best indie game.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. Fall Guys, I love it. I remember when it was free on PlayStation Day 1. We downloaded it. We played together. I haven't laughed so much in such a long time. It's
so stupid. It's great.
I agree. It is phenomenal. Runner-up is going to be Hades. So, mobile game. We talked about this today, Dom, and I'm just going to go ahead and say Among Us.
Yeah, so I'm one of those weird people. Don't hate me. I like mobile games. I know that's like a weird thing in the gaming community to like, you know, say I'm okay with mobile gaming. Mm-hmm. Really, Call of Duty Mobile is great. Among Us is Definitely going to win. The weird thing about Among Us, though, and we touched on this before, it came out in 2018. So
Yeah.
it's odd to see it a couple years later on here. Any Riot game is going to get some love, too. But, you know, I just... Among Us is taking the world by storm. You know, sus.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Among Us definitely takes this category, followed by Call of Duty. But I know Genshin Impact has made a big impact.
Yeah, definitely.
on the community, and a lot of people are loving it. I know a lot of people currently playing it. But it really is a pay to win, and it is a game that literally, if you want to make it to the top, you're going to spend a little bit of money. I know they advertise it as free. It's not free.
Disney Arena.
Oh, don't get me started, dude.
Is this next one our last one we're going to talk about? Best community support?
No.
Okay, cool. Let's keep going.
So, best community support. Yeah, so let's go ahead and this one, I think we talked about this already too, but I'm saying Destiny 2 as my own personal opinion. But realistically, I think in this category, it's going to be between Destiny 2 and Valorant. Valorant, I think, is going to be up there because it is a Riot game. People
love Valorant. One thing, too, any community that stood behind No Man's Sky this long deserves love, too. Just to touch on that. But I'm going to go with Destiny 2 as well.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see Valorant win.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, best VR game.
You hit the nail on the head earlier. You know, Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons, or The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. Half-Life I think will dominate this category. I don't think it's going to be very close. I think it will be Half-Life or Star Wars Squadrons. Star Wars. Star Wars in general. This was a masterpiece. It really is a simulator. You're flying a ship, right? And it is absolutely amazing. So it's going to be those two for sure. Next one's innovation and accessibility. Tom, which one do you think? Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Grounded, Hyperdot, Last of Us Part 2, and Watch Dogs Legion. I think Last of Us 2, I mean, it's going to win this one. Okay. For me, I'm going to go out on a limb here because I agree with you. I think they will win, but Grounded. So, okay, so you're not allowed to say Watch Dogs. I wasn't going to. I know, it's a bad game. Best action. They've gotten better over time. But this was a bad release timing, so they kind of shot themselves in the foot. Yeah, so for best action, for me, it's very easy. It's going to be Doom Eternal or Neo 2. And probably Neo 2 will probably take this category. So I won't argue with you. I'm cool with all. Actually, if any of them really win, it's a good category. Yeah. I mean, so I'm cool with all of them. I'm going to go Doom Eternal just for the fun of it. So, best action and adventure, when we look at this category, now, we got some really good games here. We got Assassin's Creed, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and Last of Us Part 2. Again, should be trash. Or is trash. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is getting my vote. Anything with Star Wars, I'm always down. Okay. The best role-playing game. Looking at this, Final Fantasy VII Remake, hands down. I think it was made for this one. They made this category, so Final Fantasy VII Remake got love finally at the Game Awards. Absolutely. None of these games even matter. Like, not even, they might be good games, but come on now. Now, best fighting, and this is just common sense. I'm just going to throw that out there. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate Edition. Possibly Street Fighter 5, but I'm going with Mortal Kombat. I'm going Street Fighter. Okay. I'm going with it. Just to change it up. Mortal Kombat's won a lot. I think people are going to want to change, and I think Mortal Kombat sometimes gets repetitive, and I think whenever you introduce something a little bit different, and plus Street Fighter has just that hint of like, oh yeah, back in my day. So, it's a funny story. So while we're on this topic, I actually have a really good friend. I met him when I worked
I guess I shouldn't go into the specifics there, but at a prior employer. And he actually was a Street Fighter champion. And he actually goes to Las Vegas. He goes to Las Vegas every year and competes in the. Well, I shouldn't say every year, but when he competes in this league, and he's made it to the finals the last 4 years straight. If you do some research on it, you will actually locate him and figure out who he is. But he has a big name, and he actually uses the big old the board with all the big red buttons and the stick. He's talented. He's talented. So, best family game. This is a great category. So, I was looking at this, and there's a lot of great games here. But I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be between Fall Guys, Ultimate Knockout, and Crash Bandicoot.
Animal Crossing deserves to be in this category. Great job, Game Awards.
I agree.
Animal Crossing is going to win this one. I want Fall Guys, too, just because my love of Fall Guys.
Yeah.
But Animal Crossing is going to win.
I agree. Animal Crossing will win, but I'm with you. Fall Guys or Crash Bandicoot, in my opinion.
Best Sim-Strategy. Crusaders Kings 3, Desperados 3, Gear Tactics, Microsoft Flight, and XCOM.
Honestly, Flight.
Yeah, Microsoft Flight's going to win, so.
Hands down.
Continuing on. Best Sports - Racing.
Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk.
Ooh, I am completely fine with Tony Hawk.
Hands down,
just
man.
Because it hits the childhood in the heart.
Oh, absolutely. That is just amazing. Overall, it felt good. It looked good. That's winning this category. NBA 2K21 was just last year's game. It's crap.
The hate.
No, it's facts. Best multiplayer. Okay, this one's. I'm gonna go with Warzone or Fall Guys, but realistically, I think it's gonna be between Warzone and then Valorant, and I think Valorant may take this category.
Don't rule out Among Us either.
Yeah, but it's not as big as Warzone.
I mean, I think Warzone or Valorant's going to win as well. It's just the following's much larger. So
yeah, I agree with that. So let's go ahead and skip down because I really don't care about the creator portion.
Can we do content creator of the year? Because
do you?
Tim the Tap Man is the best. Period.
I agree with you. We talked about this earlier, and that's who I'm leaning a little bit more towards, Stu.
Not a little bit more. I'm fully committed to him.
Well, I say a little bit more only because I am a fan. I think Alana Pierce is great. I think Valkyrie has some really good stuff. And if you're looking at overall what Valkyrie has done, did you know she now is the #1 most watched female streamer? She just she trumped Pokimane.
I did not know that.
So
I love Pokimane.
So do I. She's hilarious. But this just recently happened, actually, a few months ago. And she signed, she's with 100 Thieves. She has an amazing track record and is now the #1 viewed. And that's very, very impressive. But I am also Tim the Tap Man. I'm a huge, huge fan. I watched him back in his World of Warcraft days when he played World of Warcraft the most. Obviously, Warzone. He's a big on Warzone. I know he plays Fortnite a little bit here and there, but overall, I think he should take this too.
He's allowed to join us whenever he wants.
Oh, I reckon. I mean, I really want him to. But best debut game. I really want to touch base on this because there are two phenomenal games here. Phasmophobia and Mortar Shell. So, really cool thing. Mortar Shell is a game that's just like literally Dark Souls. If you're a Dark Souls fan, you can tell this is inspired by Dark Souls. I highly recommend playing this game. But Phasmophobia, if you like ghost hunting, and it's super realistic. If you ever watch ghost hunting shows in general, it is identical to how they are with all the equipment. It is a phenomenal game, and Phasmophobia needs to take this category. Hands down.
Vote for me too.
Okay. And I think that is
most anticipated, the most important part.
Yeah, go ahead and read those off.
Elden Ring, God of War sequel, Halo Infinite, Horizon Forbidden West, Resident Evil Village, and Breath of the Wild.
This is hard.
Yeah, this one actually is a really interesting category because I believe you have 3 past Game of the Year winners. Breath of the Wild, Halo has won in the past too, and then God of War literally won 2 years ago. Although I think Red Dead should have won. But we'll continue on. Honestly, I love Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild's going to win. I think Nintendo always comes out swinging, even whenever new system, you can have everything in the world. I really feel Breath of the Wild. Link, everybody loves Link, and everyone loves the Zelda games. I think it's just going to take it.
So, this is hard for me because I think that you have an amazing lineup right here. I will play and buy every single one of these games, hands down. I am very partial to Zelda, of course, growing up playing it. Yep. Breath of the Wild wasn't a phenomenal game. It was a 10 out of 10. If you could score it higher, I would. But Horizon Zero Dawn was a shockingly surprised. Like no one thought this was going to be that great of a game, and it came out.
It now.
Oh yeah, the game came out. It was phenomenal, hands down. One of my favorite games of all time. Not my favorite game, but one of them. And I have high expectations for this new one coming out. The new Halo. I grew up playing Halo. Halo means a lot to me. So, you know, I'm very partial to these games. I'm going to give it to Zelda as well, with hopefully a just more or less a runner-up being Horizon. God of War is great, don't get me wrong. But God of War, to me, is one of those games you beat, you put it down, you come back, play it later. Yeah, you can do that. But in an open-world game like Zelda or Horizon, it's one of those things where you can come back and just run around and enjoy yourself all the time.
In Elden Ring, I know you love that one. Just give a shout out to Elden Ring. I think that's a game that's going to catch a lot of people by surprise. Well, obviously, it's on the anticipated list.
I do too. And it's one of those games where it has that Demon Souls, Dark Souls vibe, that challenge that people like about those games. So the realism, but it is going to be an RPG open world game that obviously is getting a lot of people watching it. So I think that could be a very good contender, but it's a new IP, so we don't know. IPs have failed many times, as we just mentioned Watch Dogs. But Watch Dogs have gotten better over the years. But overall, I agree with you there. So I'm going to say Zelda, followed up by Horizon.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of them are going to be great games. For Xbox's future, they really need Halo Infinite to be a home run. They really need it, I think, to come out swinging and be great, because I think Xbox needs to hang their hat back on. We have one of the strongest exclusives.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree 110%. I think it's going to be, this next Halo is great. It's going to be great. For the sole fact it is something new. Halo 5 I really enjoyed. The story wasn't great, but it was okay. It was too short. It was like 6 to 8 hours or so. But this is going to be an open world Halo, and that's never been done before, so I'm really curious on how they do it. But they went back to the original roots with multiplayer, which is what I play Halo 4. So I'm really, really excited to see this game launch next year during the holiday season, and to see what 343 is going to be, what 343 brings out. I'm excited for that, but I want to say this too. I think a lot of these games won't launch next year. Like, I don't think Elden Ring's coming out next year. And I'm saying this for many reasons. There's speculation that there's going to be a Fable launch next year, then Avowed. Those are two huge RPGs, and if that game dropped Elden Ring during those two, I don't know if there's going to be enough room for it. But that's another conversation for another day.
Okay, next video.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's everything. So those are our opinions on who we think we're going to win each category, who we want to win, and who we think's going to win, which is probably going to be Last of Us 2, a majority of them. Leave your thoughts down below and let us know what you think. And Dom, you want to go ahead and sign us off?
Hey guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to talk about. Let us know if you like what we're saying, if you don't like what we're saying. If you're a Last of Us fan, I apologize for this video. Probably going to hate us after this. That's okay. Just watch us next time. We'll make it up for you. But hey, Nitwits, have a great day. Thank you for everything. Thank you for listening.
Stay classy.